The drama surrounding Shadur Sanders has officially crossed the line from a feel-good rookie moment into a full-blown NFL thriller. The kind of storyline that grips fans, shakes front offices, and sends the league rumor mill into overdrive. What should have been a simple celebration of a historic debut has transformed into something far deeper, more complex, and potentially explosive. On the surface, everything about Shadur's first NFL start was picture-perfect. A rookie quarterback stepping onto the field with all the pressure of a 29-year drought weighing on him, delivering a poised, efficient performance that snapped a decades-long curse and gave the Cleveland Browns a rare spark of hope. 11 completions for over 200 yards, a touchdown, a confident command of the offense. Everything you want to see from a young quarterback with something to prove. Cleveland fans were finally exhaling, finally believing that maybe this time the future really was bright. But while Shadur was carving up the Raiders' defense on the field, something else was happening behind the scenes. Something unusual. Something that NFL insiders immediately recognized as a massive red flag. Because instead of watching from the stands with other players' families, or relaxing inside the Browns' designated suite, Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, cultural icon, and fiercely protective father, spent the entire game sitting in the personal luxury box of Mark Davis, the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, the very team Shadur was playing against. And to make things even more mysterious, Deion made sure to call attention to it publicly. During his press conference, he didn't just thank Davis casually. He emphasized how rare the gesture was, how grateful he was for the invitation, and how unusual it is for an opposing team's owner to host the father of the quarterback trying to beat his franchise. That's the moment the speculation took off. Because Deion Sanders is too experienced, too calculated, and too media-savvy to say something like that by accident. When a man who understands optics better than anyone in football goes out of his way to highlight something abnormal, he's doing it for a reason. And NFL fans immediately started connecting the dots. Why would Mark Davis want Deion Sanders inside his personal box for hours? Why would he offer hospitality to the father of the quarterback trying to hand his team another loss in a season already filled with disappointment? And why would Deion so publicly acknowledge the moment unless he wanted the world to know it happened? None of this fits the usual script. Owners and opposing families keep their distance on game day. They don't mingle. They don't get cozy in private suites. They definitely don't give each other exclusive behind-the-scenes access during a live matchup, unless something bigger is happening. And that brings us to the theory dominating every sports show, podcast, and social media timeline. The possibility that Mark Davis and Deion Sanders were quietly laying the groundwork for a future trade that would send Shadur to Las Vegas. In isolation, the idea might sound like a stretch. But when viewed in context, it suddenly becomes far more plausible. The Raiders have been desperate, truly desperate, for a franchise quarterback for years. They've cycled through temporary fixes, underwhelming veterans, and mid-tier prospects, never finding the long-term answer they hoped for. Their fan base is frustrated, their offense is inconsistent, and their identity is shaky. Shadur, on the other hand, is young, talented, charismatic, and already generating national attention. He fits the flashy, entertainment-driven culture of Las Vegas perfectly. His last name alone would sell merchandise faster than the team could print it. And if the Raiders could secure him through a trade rather than gambling on an unproven college prospect in the draft, Mark Davis would undoubtedly explore that path with enthusiasm. Meanwhile, Cleveland's front office hasn't exactly done a great job inspiring confidence in their commitment to Shadur's future. Reports have already circulated that the Browns are considering drafting a quarterback in the first round of the 2026 draft, a move that would immediately signal to Shadur that he's viewed as temporary, a placeholder, not the long-term face of the franchise. For a rookie who just broke a nearly three-decade curse, that's not just disrespectful, it's destabilizing. And Deion Sanders is not the type of father to let his son be stuck in a situation where he isn't valued. If Deion feels that Cleveland is already planning for life beyond Shadur, he will absolutely explore opportunities elsewhere. And nothing gives him a clearer path to that conversation than a private, extended meeting with an NFL owner who clearly respects him enough to invite him into his personal suite. The business side of things makes the potential move even more intriguing. Shadur in Las Vegas would be a marketing explosion. The Raiders would instantly become one of the most watched and discussed teams in the league. Ticket sales would skyrocket. Sponsorship deals would pour in. And a city built on star power would embrace a Sanders-led franchise like a Hollywood premiere. On the football side, the Raiders already have pieces in place: skilled receivers, a disruptive defense, and a coaching staff eager to establish a new identity. Insert a young quarterback with poise, accuracy, and natural leadership, and suddenly the rebuild accelerates dramatically. From Cleveland's perspective, trading Shedeur after a breakout debut might seem insane on the surface. But if the front office truly intends to draft another quarterback in 2026, it becomes cold business logic. Trade him while his value is high. Acquire a first-round pick, maybe more. Position themselves for their preferred quarterback of the future. The Browns are no strangers to chaos, and their history of mishandling quarterbacks is practically an art form at this point. It wouldn't shock anyone if they botched another promising career. All of this leaves Shedeur in a fascinating position. On one side, a franchise that drafted him but may not fully believe in him long-term. On the other, an organization that has every reason to pursue him aggressively. And in the center of it all stands Deion, a father with power, connections, and the determination to make sure his son ends up in the best situation possible. Whether the luxury box meeting was simply hospitality or the opening chapter of a blockbuster off-season storyline remains to be seen. But one thing is undeniable. The NFL world is watching every move now. Every interaction between Deion and Mark Davis. Every word from Cleveland's front office. Every rumor leaking into the media pipeline. This isn't just a story anymore. It's a saga in motion. If you're hooked on this unfolding drama, if you want to stay ahead of every twist, every rumor, every strategic move behind closed doors, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And tell me in the comments, do you think Mark Davis and Deion were talking business? Or was this just an innocent gesture blown out of proportion? The truth is coming, and you won't want to miss a single moment of what happens next.